Hi, so today I want to do a video about 4 popular foundation brushes, or actually 3 popular foundation brushes and 1 new brush that I just bought last week and I fell in love with. So the first brush that I'm going to be talking about is the MAC 187 brush, which is probably one of the more popular brushes on YouTube. I think a lot of people use the 187 or the smaller one, which is the 188. Some people call it the skunk brush for obvious reasons, and I think this brush is okay. It's great for like stippling and buffing liquid foundation into your skin. However, I don't like it because, well, one, I don't like the 187 because it's so big. So the 188 is probably better as far as offering you more control, but since I didn't really fall in love with the 187, I didn't purchase the 188, so I really have no opinion on the 188, but since it's just, the junior version of this brush, and I wasn't too in love with this brush, so I didn't buy the 188. But this is also good for powder foundation, or not powder foundation, but blush, or just anything that's really pigmented that you don't necessarily need to pick up a lot of product, because only the white bristles are going to touch the product, and so you can lightly, run it across your face. So this can be used for more than foundation, which is what I use it for now since I don't use this brush for foundation. The other popular foundation brush would be the 190. I don't have the MAC 190, but this is the SS 190 from Sigma, which looks exactly like the MAC 190 brush, because Sigma brushes are kind of just a knockoff of MAC brushes. And I didn't hear good things about the 190 brush. I'd heard that it was streaky, so that's why I didn't purchase the MAC 190. Although most of my brushes are MAC or Sigma brushes, I decided to go with the Sigma one for this one because I didn't think I would like it, and it's good that I didn't get the MAC one because I really don't like this brush. It's my least favorite foundation brush. It is dense, so I think that leads to the application being kind of streaky because when you have liquid foundation and the product gets on the end of this brush, a lot of the bristles, they become friends and join together, and then you just get lines and streaks across your face when you apply it. But if you work with it, it can give you a good application. It just takes more time to use it, and I just don't have that kind of time. And there are other brushes that offer easier, faster, and better application, so I just prefer not to use this for foundation. So yeah, so now I use it for other purposes instead of foundation, and I apologize for it being slightly dirty because I don't only deep clean my brushes once a week. I spot clean them every day, so therefore there's a little bit of product in this one, so excuse my dirty brushes. And the third brush that I'm going to talk about is the MAC 109 brush. Now this is it's not supposed to be a foundation brush. If you look at the bristles, you can see that this is intended to be a brush for powder application, blush, etc. However, there are a lot of people on YouTube that use the MAC 109 for liquid foundation, so I bought the 109 specifically to use with my liquid foundation because I wasn't happy with the 190 and the 187, and I love this brush for liquid foundation. It does a great job. I love the way my face looks after I use this brush with my Makeup Forever liquid foundation. However, the major con with this brush is the shedding. You will experience a ton of shedding with this brush if you use it for liquid foundation. These bristles aren't intended to handle liquid foundation. It's too heavy, and so I think that is what causes all of the shedding. Usually MAC brushes are pretty good about not shedding, which is why I love them. And every MAC brush that I've ever had has had little to no shedding, and in order to try to stop the shedding, I conditioned this one heavily, a lot more than I've ever conditioned any other brush, because I thought that would help, but it still continues to shed like crazy. You know, when I stipple it on and then, you know, buff it or try to buff it into my face, it leaves little tiny black hairs like all over my face. So after I apply the liquid foundation, then I have to go back and get all the little hairs off of my face, and so that was just annoying and kind of gross, and I felt like each time I used it with liquid foundation I was degrading the brush and just making it worse. And the brush isn't that old. I think I've only had it for like 2 months maybe. But yeah, so I wanted to stop abusing the brush, but I love the finish, and so I kept using it. However, MAC recently came out with another foundation brush. It's the MAC 130 brush, and this is similar to the 187 and 188 if you look at it, because they both have the black and white bristles. However, if you see like the size of it, it's quite small, especially in comparison to the 187. You can see how small the 130 is in comparison. And the top on this one is flatter. This one is well, this one's flat too, but this one just definitely has more of a blunt flat top in my opinion than this brush. And so it offers similar applications, so I still use this to put the product on and buff it into my skin. Obviously you have to spend more time working the liquid foundation into your skin with this brush, because you can't cover a whole lot of area. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can't cover a whole lot of area because you don't have a big brush to work with. So it does take a little bit longer to apply foundation with this one as opposed to the 187. However, I like it because you can get, you know, more into the crevices around your nose and face. So I prefer this one, because it gives you more control. It's more tightly packed, because if I move this, like, you can see that the brushes don't move a whole lot. So I love the density of the brush and how compact it is. So I feel that makes it easier to actually buff the liquid into your skin. In comparison, when I move the top of this brush, you see how freely and easily the bristles move, and so I just don't like that much movement going on when I'm trying to buff liquid foundation into my face. So in my opinion, this offers the same finish on your face as the 109, but without the shedding. This brush has not shed at all. I haven't noticed like any hairs on my face once I finished applying my foundation with this brush. So I love this brush. This is like the holy grail liquid foundation brush in my opinion. It was $38. Yeah, it was $38 from MAC. You can also get it from maccosmetics.com. And yeah, so I love this brush. If there's anything that I didn't cover with this brush or any of the other foundation brushes, feel free to ask in the comments below. Yeah, and thanks for watching.